My goal here is to hit 2,000 subscribers before the month of August, so if you do enjoy today's video or any ones you might have seen here in the past, please consider subscribing, and thank you so much for watching. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Melty Blood. It's an older game with a very rich history and a very dedicated community. It's based on a visual novel. I've only seen the anime, I've seen the Tsukihime anime, and that really made me want to play the game, mostly because a new game's coming out and because I rewatched the anime recently. Also, I watched a lot of Majin Obama's videos on it, and it really inspired me to make this. But before we get into that, you've probably seen that this game has been trending on Twitter lately, because a lot of people say the characters don't have the drip. And if you don't know what the drip is, let me show you real quick. I have the Supreme. I have the Bape. And it's not the new Bape where they just sort of slap the logo on anything and they ship it out, right, to whoever owns it now. I really take my time. I source the old vintage Bape and I have it imported from Japan. I pay a lot of money for it, but it's something that I enjoy and it's something that I like. And with that stated, with my accolades out there for all the other Zoomers watching this, I still think that the characters look great, and I love their designs. And I might be biased because it's not strictly from the fighting game perspective. It's from the perspective of watching the anime, checking out the background stuff, and then playing the game. But I could see if you're only playing the game and you're coming from something like Guilty Gear, where the characters have 12 belts and 16 swords, I could see why you feel like these are kind of dripless characters and they don't really look too special. But to me, I think they're really cool. Now, with all that said, let's hop into the game. Let's look through the characters, right? I said I only watched the anime. I don't really know the ones from the visual novels, so I do know this character. This is the one who gives Shiki his glasses, I think, right? So if you didn't watch the anime, she sort of gives him his glasses, which tame his power. And his power is he can sort of see vital spots that he can cut through and destroy things with or kill people with. And she sort of helps him out, I think. But she looks a lot more intimidating in the game than she did in the anime. She doesn't really have a very big part in the show. Here's Shiki. He is the main character of the show, and I'm guessing of the visual novel. I think this is Arc, but this is like her princess form. You don't really see this too much in the anime as well, but this is like her ancient form, right? She's a vampire. She's been around for forever, so this is like her form from back then. This is the other Shiki, and he is like the original one, right? So he was the original brother of this character here, Akiha, and I think the story goes he killed this Shiki. He killed the other one who was like a friend of the family or whatever, adopted into the family. I don't really remember too well. And then she shares half of her life force with him, and he survives, and then they sort of lock this kid up in a cage, and he breaks out and he becomes evil, and we'll get into that when we get down to the second row of characters. This character I know is in the new game, and a lot of people are very excited about him. I don't know him because he wasn't in the anime as well. So he does look pretty cool, though. He's a grappler, I think, or just a all-around big guy character, so usually people love those. Let's go on to the second row here. This character as well, don't know much about her. CL, she's in the anime as well. She works for like the church, and she used to be possessed by this guy, right? So this guy is the one that possessed the other Shiki, right? When he escaped, he got possessed by Roa, and then becomes evil, and he just wants to kill, right? This guy is just here to create chaos. And CL is, possessed by him at one point in the past, and that's why she's still alive, is to hunt him down in the anime. That's how it's explained in the anime. This character, the only reason I know this character is because she's in the other French bread game, Under Night. She's in Under Night, so she's pretty cool. Don't know much about her backstory. This character as well, don't know. This is also one of the characters, if you've been seeing people argue on Twitter about how a lot of the Melty Blood characters don't have the drip or they don't look very cool, she's one that comes up a lot. I've never played her. I've never seen her be played, and I've never seen her in the anime, unfortunately. But she looks cool. She does look a lot different than most of the other cast, right? Let's go on to this guy. I think he's briefly mentioned in the anime. I don't remember those. I don't think so. I don't want to say so, but he looks familiar for some reason. Maybe it's his outfit is seen a lot in other animes. Here's Roa. I think you see this form whenever he goes up to like heaven or wherever the princess is, right? And she sort of has a fall from grace. He's the one who gives her like the flower covered in blood and turns her into a vampire. Because originally she's pure or whatever, and then something happens. I forget what happens. She falls out of her tower, and he's there and sort of taints her, right? He makes her a vampire. So he's the main antagonist in the anime. That's how it was shown to me in the show. That's how I interpreted it. Here are the maids. There's a lot of variants of the maids in here, but these are the maids that live in Akiha and Shiki's household, right? And they take care of them. They sort of have a bond that's not explained very much in the anime, and they sort of have like they're very loyal to them, but it's not explained very much in the anime. This is the younger sister of the main character, and she's also a vampire. And then this is Arcuade. She is another main character. She's like the main girl character, the main love interest of Shiki, and her story is she's like a vampire. And in the anime, whenever Shiki's like walking home from school or something, he has like an episode where his powers go off and he like kills her, right? He slices her up into a bunch of pieces. Very gruesome sort of encounter, and it haunts him for the rest of the first episode until they meet again, and she's like revived at this point. Now she's infatuated with him and she wants to know what his power is, and that it sort of takes off from there, right? These two are sort of like your main characters in the anime. This is Powered CL. This form is shown at the end of the anime, where they have like the final fight with Roa after he's taken over the other Shiki, Nania, and it's very brief, but you do see this form, and she has like all the tattoos and stuff. This one's pretty cool, right? Red Arcuade. You don't see this one in the anime. You see it. Maybe this is like a reference to whenever her vampire powers go off. So like a lot of the time in the show, she is trying to like suppress these her vampiric urges, I guess. She says she doesn't like blood, but whenever somebody bleeds, this form sort of shows. She looks very evil, right? She looks evil here, but in the show it doesn't look like that. She doesn't look as evil. Akiha in her heat mode, I guess, because she's a vampire, so whenever she has like the heat or whatever, she needs blood, her hair turns red, and then she has like the power-ups. Mech Hisui, this is the maid. She's in a mech form for some reason. Another Akiha. I think there's 3 of them. Wow, one, 2, and then 3. Maybe there's more. Satsuki, she's one of the friends of the main character. Very brief stint in the show. Not shown very much. Not a lot of detail is given about this character. I guess she turns into a vampire at some point, but not detailed in the anime, right? Len, not in the anime as well. Another Shiki, also not in the anime. White Lean, not in the anime. This character is in the anime, actually. He's, I think, in the first or the second episode. He's like the first main enemy that they have. And you see he has those dogs there. He controls, like, I think he has, like, summons and stuff. And I've seen some of his attacks in this game from watching Obama and watching other videos. And he sort of uses that power in the game as well. So that's pretty cool. Neko Chaos. I think this is just Chaos, but a tiny version, I'm guessing. Here's the maids, but they're both mechs, I guess. Oh, it looks like Kohaku is not a mech here. Hisui, the other maid in her normal form. Neko Arc, I've heard stories about this character. I know this character is a menace. Kohaku, the other maid, and then Neko and Mech. I don't I don't know why this is a character, but interesting. So with all that said, let's pick one. Let's just pick one and take a look at them. I'm not gonna play any matches. I'm not gonna learn any combos. I kind of just want to see how they move. I want to input some special moves. Just take a look at the game, right? Take a look at some of the mechanics. Character I'm interested in the most is probably Archetype Earth, the princess form. Ro looks pretty cool. You don't get to see him too much in the show like this, so that could be one. But for now, let's take a look at normal Arcuade, right? Because she's going to be in the next game, and I think it'd be pretty interesting to come back to it and see how she has sort of changed when the new game comes out. Because I do plan on picking it up at least. I'm not sure how much I'll play the new game, but I'm definitely going to buy it. And I'll definitely make some videos on it. Let's see. God, man, look how many colors. That's crazy. And like, because if you think about it in Strive, you get, I think, 4 or 5 for free. And then you have to pay for like the other 5. So you get like maybe 10 or 11 total, I think. I think we're going to go with color 13. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty amazing that there's that many colors. And I know some games have like, you can take the colors, like it gives you the palette and you can make your own. That's pretty cool. I don't think I've seen that in any game that I've tried. Let's try her normals real quick. You can see I have the inputs on there on the left. So this is like her A, B, C. And then I wonder if they so they Gatling into each other, which I think is the most logical thing. I thought that was really odd in Strive that they sort of stopped doing this, right? Because of the little Rev 2 that I did play before Strive came out, because I wanted to like learn the game a little bit, I very much relied on doing those Gatlings that go from like punch all the way to heavy slash, just because I wasn't really interested too much in learning the game that late. I just like to get familiar with the mechanics. And that happened to be one of the mechanics I did not carry over. Only slash into heavy slash combo or Gatling into each other in Strive, unfortunately. Which doesn't make too much sense because if you're trying to, I think, appeal to a larger audience, or the way that they tried to dumb that game down a little bit more, it didn't really make too much sense to me that they took out that. Because it just made sense that if I walk up and press punch, kick, slash, that they go into each other. Also, I think it depends on which version you select. Like if you pick the little crescent moon, the half moon, or the full moon, whether you have reverse beats or like reverse Gatlings. I've never played a game with them, so I thought I wanted to explore it a little bit. And you probably saw right there, I switched characters because I had the wrong like moon thing. So I don't think I had reverse beat, but reverse beat is just reverse Gatling, right? So I can go from like B into A instead of having to go from A to B. And that opens up a lot more options, I guess. Those are really the only system mechanics I know because I watched a little bit, but I also played a little bit of Undernight, so I know that the Gatlings can go in both directions. All right, with that said, this video is getting a little bit long, but I do want to take a look at a few special moves before we get out of here. So you can see her quarter circuit forward A. I think this is a Rekka. So basically, a Rekka, if you're new to fighting games and you found this video somehow, a Rekka is just you can keep inputting quarter circle forward and that button, and it'll continue doing that move. It'll continue the sequence. And usually the further you go into the Rekka on block, like if your opponent blocks the first part and you say, well, I'm going to commit and I'm going to do the second part because maybe they don't want to block it, usually the more negative it gets. So if you do the third one, then you'll be super negative. Your opponent will get a hit on you. And then you can see there in that Rekka, you can do like different sequences, right? So you can do quarter circle forward A, and then you can do like half or quarter circle back, I guess, to get something different. Quarter circle forward C. Let's take a look at that one. Oh, it's a super. Okay. And which meter did that use? Oh, it used a magic circuit meter down at the bottom, which I think works a little bit different in the newer one because it looks a little different in the newer one. This looks like maybe another Rekka. Oh, so you can start from this Rekka, or you can start from this one. And this one looks like it's a little slower, maybe a little heavier. And just some other stuff in here. Lots of special moves, wow. It seems like a lot of them may be a little repetitive though. Like it listed this aside from the Rekka, right? So quarter circle forward C. It says EX edge though. Maybe you can burn meter or something to make it different. If you hear me asking myself questions about the game and you know the answer, feel free to comment them because I will read through it. And if you guys do enjoy this one, consider subscribing like always, and like the video and let me know in the comments. I'll make a second part of this game. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting to be able to go back and play older games like this that I missed out on, and missed out on by many many years. But I am excited for the new one that's coming out. But if you enjoyed seeing me check out Melty Blood, please do let me know in the comments, and I will make a second part because the game is very interesting. And obviously, I know a little bit about the characters this time. I played DBFZ in the past, but I never really watched DBFZ, so I didn't have that same connection to the characters that a lot of people do that keeps them playing the game even when maybe they don't like it too much. Or maybe a new DLC comes out and they're very excited for it because it's a character they knew. I just didn't have that feeling with DBFZ or Street Fighter or any of the other games because I just didn't play these games when they were big, or like when they were building up their history, or whatever it may be. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.